Kelly.
Hey, Hayley.
And hello, everyone joining us for episode 21 of A Measure of Marketing, all about how to take the perfect picture on your phone to enhance your online presence with Cristina from CS Visual Storytelling. Hello, Cristina.
Hello, how are you?
Good, yeah.
Excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to kickstart off by you explaining a little bit more about what you do. I think you're the first person that we've had on, and in this angle. We've had some other photographers on, we've had branding people on, have we, before?
Videographers.
Yeah, but you've got this like a completely different angle to what you do. So yeah, share a little bit more with the audience about what you're up to, Cristina, and then we'll have a bunch of questions that come from.
For sure. Send them my way. So I work as a freelancer mainly. I help small brands and creative entrepreneurs improve their online presence through visuals, using just their phone, or simple photo shoots that I do. So I teach it or I do it. In a few words, that's what I'm covering.
No. So how did you come up with this concept? Obviously it's like everyone's got a phone, but what was it that made you realize that this is really important for small business owners or can really add a lot of value to what they're doing in their marketing?
Well, I've been in marketing for years and basically realized people don't need more content really. They need visuals that actually feel like them. So I started helping people create these with just their phones. After will be 8 years this year of working in marketing. I'm still doing marketing as well, but I also do this photography side of things now.
So you do full photo shoots and you've got workshops as well, haven't you, for?
Yeah. So in a few words, I cover a lot as a creative. You probably know the feeling of wanting to do all of these. Professional photo shoots. So it's me, my camera, and the person, or a one-to-one workshop with this person for them to understand how to use their phone better, master its camera, create visuals like a pro with just their phones. It's easier than it seems. And also for small teams, workshops as well. And this workshop has actually been translated a few months ago into an online masterclass, which sits on my school community. So people who join while they level up, they have access to different chapters. It's made out of 6 chapters with worksheets, and it's covering like literally everything I know and use myself for phone photography for years now.
Nice. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. It's such a classic creative though, isn't it? Like, do you know, when you've got all of these ideas and you know how you can help somebody. Yeah, that's amazing.
It's kind of the same thing, but translated in different parts. So the one-to-one workshop, it's in person if people prefer doing that. And some prefer just watching videos online, practicing in their own time. So that's why it's got translated into that online masterclass. But the information, it's kind of the same.
Yeah. Okay. So do you if you was working with a small business, for example, what does the makeup of that business look like? Like, do they normally have like a team of people and people are dipping into marketing, but they haven't got prior experience? Or what does that normally look like for you?
So mainly, as I said, it's more for creative entrepreneurs. So it will be people like you and me who do everything themselves, really, including their marketing. And, copy sometimes, like for most people, comes easier when you have a lot of tools anyway to help with writing nowadays. But matching visuals with that copy, it's where the trick comes in. So it's for them to understand how to easily create these visuals quicker as well, but also to feel like them. So it's not that pressure of, oh, what am I posting today, or I don't have enough content, or just like the feeling of creating content for some people who are less creative, let's say so, comes in harder, and like it's overwhelming when they think about taking pictures. And even going to events, it's overwhelming because you have to network, take pictures, create all the content, think about what you'll post, and so on. So it's just simplifying all this concept, because in a way, I mean, it's not just me saying that, it's actually research from MIT. People actually notice visuals first on social media, and then they start to read. Like, our brain literally processes visuals in just 13 milliseconds, I think it was, which is faster than a blink. So if you have that visual hook, it's easier for your marketing efforts to be, elevated. Your copy falls in another way into the audience mind as well. So they all are tied together, and it's just, to amplify your marketing efforts, basically.
You've done so you and I worked together recently. You created some video content for an event that I was at last year, didn't you? Do you teach video on phone as well to your audience? I know you're a videographer, professional videographer also. Do you teach business owners how to use their camera from a video perspective as well as like a static photo perspective?
It depends on what they want to use the content for. So if it's a business that's more on Instagram and they want to use the reels, we can cover in the training video as well. But everything that's in like the online masterclass, for example, all the composition, finding your subject, stuff like that, angles and so on, they all apply to video as well.
Okay.
The notion is the same. It will just be a different tap on your phone, isn't it, in the camera app to go to video. And of course, you have the editing part, which is different as well. But for example, with a wellness person, a few months ago, we had a one-to-one in her office. She does massages, Reiki and stuff like that. And we just went through, like, I don't know, this is the room, this is a great angle, how would you do it? Oh, did you usually do it like this? Maybe try like this, it looks better, add this in the front, or stuff like that. Just things that will make her content from now on feel so much easier to do, and it feels more creative for her as well. It's more enjoyable.
Yeah, nice. I like that. Hayley, I've got a ton of questions, so you're gonna have to get
I know, I'm trying to, in my head, I've kind of got questions like, where do you start? Obviously, we've got a phone in our back pockets. We've got this Swiss Army knife that we can use for everything, and to be able to take video and imagery ourselves cuts out so much time and budget to be able to learn from you. So is there almost a kind of a rule book or a set of foundations you can share that, if you walked in a room or you saw something, you'd go, oh, you need to have your lighting like this, or you need to have that, or I'd see this like this, or a video, even 30 seconds, your first take needs to be 6 seconds, or this angle, or like, how do we start? What are your kind of go-to starting points?
Yeah, so there are quite a lot of things I could mention now. I don't want to overwhelm you or the listeners, so I'm gonna try and say this very easy. Have a subject. If you have a subject and you know who your subject is that a person? Is that a light, a shadow, the keyboard or whatever? It's not the whole picture, like the whole room, it's not your subject. The whole sunset landscape, it's not your subject. So pick your subject as a one thing. So it's easier for you to understand what's around it. So you can pick your angle. You can see if there are any composition techniques like symmetry, reflection, stuff like that around your subject. You can't create them if you don't know your subject. Of course, if you think it in a more creative way, if there's a reflection and you pass through next to it and you see it, that can be your actual subject, the actual reflection. But for business, it's what's around your subject. So let's go back to the wellness coach, for example. So she has this room with a table, massage table, right? The light can be very dim. It can create that atmosphere. But your subject, the person that you are massaging, will be on the table, right? So working your room and settings and everything around that, it's the best option in that case. If she would be at the table just writing down after the session how it went, stuff like that, to remember for the next session, then it would be her notebook, for example, the subject, or actually herself. So that first thing, to pick your subject, it's one of the most important things you need to remember. It becomes so much easier if you think about it like that in photography. And a few other tips that make a big difference. And some of them might sound silly for some people because we sometimes remember, sometimes we are actually announced by our phones. It's cleaning your lens. I actually have, I don't know why, my camera just puts that notification, clean your lens. You might need to clean your lens, stuff like that.
I'm going to do mine. Okay.
The colors are more vibrant. The whole image is, sharper as well. So that's a really important thing to remember. You probably notice when you go home after an event, for example, why is it, I don't know, my phone should take better picture. Why is this looking like this? Like, the quality is not great. That can be for a blurry, a bit dusty lens. And even for selfies, actually, like, think about it. When you speak on your phone, you hold it on your face, like, for us women especially, all the makeup gets on the lens, and of course on the back lens as well. And if you have one of those cases where like just the lens, it's free, you might want to take the case off, especially if you want to create content for your social media. So you have half an hour to create content. Start by cleaning the lens. Also, in terms of quality, I know a lot of people use those live photos. It's the option where the photo is a bit like 2 seconds or so captured, which if you are on the run, it's a very fast paced environment. You can use that, but expect your quality of the picture to be lower automatically. So if you are just in your own room creating content for marketing, Hayley, for example, and you as well, Hayley, you don't really need to use that, do you? Like, you won't be moving, you have time, you get much, much better quality if you turn that option off. You can also cropping. It's something else that you need to take in consideration for the platform that you're choosing. So if you only create content for Reels, go ahead and change your framing to 16:9 automatically. Easier as well on your phone to create better quality pictures. If it's something that's supposed to be used on Instagram feed, Reels, so on, I normally just use the 3x4 and try and leave some room around the edges. So when you crop, the whole composition is not destroyed. To be honest, I sometimes forget to do that, especially on my camera, because I'm like there in the mood. And then when I'm like want to post something, I'm like, oh, this just destroys everything. The cropping of the top of bottom. Yeah, I think these are the main ones for just great quality and to make your process much faster, and you automatically have pictures that look more professional just by having higher quality.
Do you work with the grid lines still?
Yeah. So if you don't have those turned on in the first lessons, that's one of the advice I give. It's easier for you to like understand if your picture is straight, first of all. It's easier to then go into more composition techniques as well, which if you want I can go into it. I don't know what to cover. Like, I feel like there's a lot, of course. At the same time, while you practice, it all becomes like you understand it, and you actually get to understand what you prefer and what you like. Like, creativity, it's free, it's out there. You don't have to create the same picture as I do for you to look at it and say, I'm really happy with this, it's really good. And for other people that are your audience to think that when they look at your picture. So I'm all about, it's your content, something that needs to feel aligned with you, your soul, your brand. And that's why I'm all for this one-to-one practice, or even the Q&A sessions that we have in the school communities. And we have a full like tab for ask for feedback, because everyone it's on a different journey. Everyone it's on a different business journey, especially. And yeah, it's whatever feels like you.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess I'm just thinking back to like organizations that I've worked in, and we used our phones for certain like grabbing certain content at different events that like you've mentioned. But it was always, so is subjective the right word, when people had an opinion on it? And I think then, because we're watching so many different everyone else's feeds, and we have an opinion on what we think is the right way, the best way, for you to just say to business owners, like, go out and have these guidelines, work towards them, but go out and find some content that works for you, the visual that works for you, that you really feel good about, like, so then post that. I really have a strong feeling that then your audience picks up on that you feel good about your content as well, because you're confident about it, your words will be different about it as well. Yeah, I like when you say about the soul of a business also.
Yeah. I literally just posted today actually on LinkedIn. It had just happened. It's easier for people to maybe like think about their day. How is it going? What are they actually doing since they wake up until they go to sleep? Because everyone's day is different, right? Different businesses, different families, and so on, circumstances. So that's your shot list. Like, it's as simple as that. Then you can go into like, what's my subject based on that, what's around the subject based on the subject, and so on. Like, it's an expansion. If you look at it, I actually remember, this is a really nice metaphor. When I was doing my postgrad course, the dissertation, it just overwhelmed me, like, to write so many pages and words and everything. And my tutor actually told me, when you look at the watermelon, you can't eat it all at once. You have to slice it. And it's the same with this, slice it.
Yeah.
Same with photography. Like, if you look at all of it, there are so many things you need to take in consideration: light, subject, angles, to have all the background clean, and so on. But if you just take it step by step, so first of all, maybe it's easier for people to think about their copy first. For me, because I'm promoting visual, sometimes it works to look at the photo I like to post and then work the copy around that. But generally speaking, it's the copy first. So copy first. What are some keywords in the copy? Found those keywords, then based on the photo shoot that you probably already have in your gallery, if you scroll through it, you can find something. I use, for example, Google Photos and just search for a keyword. Let's just say phone photography. So I just search for phone, and it would come up with all these photos where a phone is visible. And I can pick a photo based on that. Then it's easier, right? Like, you already have everything else needed. And with a photo shoot, I already covered that with just like focusing on a subject, and expanding from there. Your subject is your first thing. That's the really easiest way to look at it.
I really like how you said, just think about your day. One of the questions that I'm often asked is, I think it comes from overwhelm, but people are like, I don't know what to post. Like, what am I talking about? And when you bring it back to yourself as a business owner, and you bring it back to personal brand, and there, like you say, your content's there. Like, your content is in speaking to customers, it's in your day, it's in your camera roll already, and that it pieces it all together then. It makes it so much more simple, doesn't it?
Yeah, most of the time you already have it there, but if you don't have it, that's the idea with having your photo shoot based on how your day is generally going. It can be even like, you don't need to have, I don't know, professional lighting and stuff like that. I would normally just advise to look for, softer light, natural if you can. I know UK sometimes it's cloudy and that's not an option. That's where a more artificial light would come into place. Like a ring light, if it's just speaking to camera, that's a great choice. If it's just, I don't know, photographing around the room, that can work as well. But there are other like LED small lights that can work. I wouldn't recommend going with a flash. I don't really like that, and I think it's very unnatural. Like the light it creates, you can't really control it. So that's why I would suggest in general an artificial light. It's better. And yes, it's a matter of practice in the end. Like however it's with copy, with sales, with everything else, with photography is the same. And once you understand what lens you like to use, what's your favorite angle, I know people sometimes think they have a better angle of their face as well, and prefer that. So like you'll understand all of these as you practice. Without practice, even if they watch the whole master class or have a one-to-one session with me or any other professional, I don't think it will make a big difference in like long term, I mean. So yeah.
Any questions, Hayley? I still have more.
No, I try and take pictures throughout the day because I don't use Instagram very business orientated. I use it just to showcase me and my personality. And so yeah, I take pictures throughout the day, but most of it ends up a mug of coffee, my laptop, and my cat. And it's like that is going to get boring for people. So I mean, I know I can go out and I can take pictures of cherry blossom and the sea when I walk by it and everything else, but it's trying to hook in during the day, I suppose, that creativity or that stimulus to take a photo of something that is going to appeal to people that the copy then supports to kind of drive what I do and who I am. And I find that difficult because I'm home based. I'm not always out on the train or in Brighton or in London or wherever else. So I suppose it's for me, my struggle is finding different things to inspire me to take the photos, and having that time to be able to see it rather than just what's happening throughout my day, because it literally is just coffee, Zoom, and my cat, and that gets a bit boring after a while.
First of all, cats, all for it. I think we all have one, at least one, right? um, but yeah, I think it would be. I know what you mean. Like even during winter time, the creativity goes down. Even for me or other people I spoke to, I think that's normal. Like if you follow a routine, to expect that at some point things don't seem interesting, but maybe that's just for you in a way. Like I don't think anyone will see the same post from you and think, oh yeah, she posted that 2 weeks ago. I'm
There's a
bored
cat
already.
again.
No, yeah, I don't think that's the case. And if you just add like the mug, it's different. There are some flowers, a bouquet or something. The cat it's in another angle, on another sofa or whatever. Automatically, people, I think they'll just connect with you based on. I have a feeling that I've seen similar things from her, so that, in my opinion, creates a connection, more human. Your brand gets built. But I don't think they'll be like, oh no, she posted a similar picture. I think people don't even remember if you post like literally the same
No, they
picture.
No.
You'll probably remember, and sometimes we actually forget as well, like what we posted, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think that's like 100% what you should feel about.
You're exactly right, because we spoke about this last week. One of the questions we had in our live Q&A was about repurposing content and how people were thinking that it gets repetitive or it's the same messaging. And actually, Kelly and I were discussing that no, people don't see every post, they don't see every blog post, they don't see every piece of copy, content, messaging, or text. So you're right. If I think everybody has seen that one picture of my cat and they're going to be annoyed at another one, I'm kind of I need to practice what I preach, that no, that's not the case at all.
Yeah.
I as I said, I completely understand what you mean. And based on our previous discussion, when we started, if your subject is the same always, there can be something in the background that's different, and that's automatically a new picture. Sometimes people, I found, they see more reach or more engagement for, I don't know, just selfies, for example. It's that human connection that builds the trust after all. And if you really want to go for that creative touch, It's your selfie, but with something else in the background. If it's spring outside, some spring flowers can be a nice touch, right? If it's, I don't know, just you talking about a coaching session or something like that, it's the same selfie, but it's another angle. Like it can be like from here, and you can see the screen. Next time it's from like in front of you, and it's just like the back of the laptop. So it's just literally, let's say I'm the subject. If I move my phone like or camera around me constantly, it's a different angle. So you can get at least 5 different pictures in a minute
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
same
yeah.
subject. But that's your angle. You change the angle. And by the way, with angles, you'll notice if you just like slightly, let me bring my phone, like when you keep your phone like this and you take the picture, your photo, it's kind of like what the eye sees in real life. If you slightly tilt it like this, and your subject it's a person, for me, for example, because I'm tiny, this doesn't do justice, like not at all. It makes me look even tinier. If you though hold it like this, just slightly, I'm kind of exaggerating now, but for you to understand, then the subject becomes bigger. So it's all about understanding this. Once you are aware, you'll actually notice when you hold your phone if your hand is straight or not, and you'll notice how the picture like completely changes just based on that. That's one tiny thing, but like imagine going round with the phone like this, like automatically you have different pictures. And yeah, you can post one today, one in a week. I don't think anyone will remember they saw a similar one. No.
Yeah.
What do you recommend then, Cristina, for people to have like some props, like not props, that's not the right word, but so I've got a little ring light that's attached to the top of my laptop. We've got like a little tripod thing downstairs. Would you recommend people getting things like that to help them with setting up different shots? What do you use? I prop my phone up on stuff and it doesn't always work.
I actually have this next to me. I have this sort of camera, light, sorry. So it goes on top of my camera, but also I can put it on the back of the tripod when I'm shooting with my phone, and it's like has colors and you can adjust the light and everything. I also have some ring lights as well, just because I needed more lights for a product photo shoot at some point, but I don't normally use all of them. I actually prefer golden light hour. So that's like 1 hour after sunrise or 1 hour before sunset. Well, 1 hour more or less, depending on the time of the year. And if it's not cloudy, of course. But that really golden light, it's very soft, it's very warm, and it's natural. Yeah. I prefer to do my photo shoots if I can around that time of the day. And when I'm inside, I use one of these lights if I need to. However, if you tap and focus on the subject, going back to the subject, like tap and hold, you can actually, it's locking in the focus, first of all, and you can actually see a tiny sign icon that you can just drag, and that's adjusting the brightness manually. So you're trying now.
I'm doing it. I am.
I'm just going to change my
go for it. Yes. If it's not easy to drag it, by the way, your settings, I think it's called screen touch something sensor or something like that. I'm missing the word at the moment, but you need to adjust those settings. Probably if you have like a screen protector, it kind of messes up with the sensitivity. It's called screen sensitivity. Yeah. So you need to adjust that to be like higher, and it's easier to drag the icon. I have Android and it's easier for me, but I noticed in my workshops that on some people's phones that they have iPhone, it was harder to drag that. It's moved, but very slow. So yeah, just bear in mind that aspect. Yeah, so that's how you can manually adjust the brightness. So even if it's a very, very dark room, if you do that, automatically there's more light in your photo and it's easier to like slightly edit it if you want at the end. You can also edit it normally, of course, but that lowers the quality. If you like work on all these aspects like shadows, cropping, and everything else, just lowers the quality. So it's usually better to do everything before you actually shoot.
And then I was thinking about events earlier. So if you're at networking, we all want to show, don't we, that we're out and about, and often it's just a room of a mass of people. And I always take photos at events and I'm like, it's a no, like I'm just not posting it. It just looks messy and it's not posed stage. Like how do you capture a busy scene with you in it, and like what's your tips there?
So when you say with you in it, it's like you in the picture, but someone. Okay.
Yeah.
Selfie angle, like the front camera, usually doesn't capture much of the surroundings, isn't it? Like I know there are like two cameras for some of the phones. One is more wide and one more close up, but still the wide one, it's not very wide. A trick that I like to use in these situations, it's actually using, you remember the old way where you would take a photo but like have your phone point, like the camera is pointing at you. The old style, literally the old style. Forget that you have a front camera, use your back camera.
Okay.
And if you have an ultra wide camera, even better, use that for sure, that lens. So for mine it's 0.6 on the grid of the camera. So like the main one, it's 1 usually, and then you have an ultra wide, which is 0.5 or 0.6 depending on the phone.
Okay.
So that's the camera I would suggest you to use. Turn your phone around, and that's gonna catch like the whole room probably, which if it's a small room, it makes it look bigger, first of all. The angles might be a bit distorted in that case, but just try and see how it looks like. It might be the solution to one of these problems. And other ways, I would just try and look around the room. Of course, if this is like a simple room with nothing else, just people talking, standing up, there's probably not much to play with. Like if there's nothing around it, you can't really make a photo look amazing. You can have a great quality one instead. And you can be creative just by looking at the room. Like I don't know, if it's a square room and you go in one of the corners, you can probably find some symmetry, for example. If there's, I don't know, someone in front of you and there's a speaker, nothing else going on, instead of just photographing the speaker, you can have that person that's in front of you, just, the shoulder and a bit of their head, but tap and focus on the subject, the person that's speaking, and that person becomes blurry. So, it's just that behind the person view, sort of. So it's more of an inviting shot. It's more like I'm watching, they're watching. It's more clear for more clear for your viewer. So yeah, that's one. It's like it just becomes like one of those blurry silhouettes basically, and it's more artistic in a way as well. So yeah, there are some simple ways to enhance a photo if you have nothing else to play with around it. Yeah, just whatever comes to your mind. I'm going back to practice, and you'll come, like your brain will naturally gravitate towards some ideas once you start practicing. Yeah, you might have just a glass in your hand at some point and think, well, I can see a reflection in my water, and try and do that. And there are some other more like DIY ways to get creative, which I don't know, you can create like your small puddle on the ground, and then you have a reflection in it. If you have another phone actually and you have two phones, you can just like hold, like you are photographing like this and the other phone like this here. Probably, by the way, tip, you can turn it around so the camera is closer to the ground, so the reflection is bigger.
Yeah.
If you just use two phones, you'll get a reflection in the phone here.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? So like phone, and you'll see reflection here from the camera here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We was at a wedding at the weekend, and you always know when you get someone, when you ask someone to take a photo of you and they like step back and they get you to move and they turn the phone upside down. I'm like, yes, you can stay. Wow, just grab a few more. And we're like, that house here and we're outside. You know, or you give it to your mum and your mum's like, bam, done. Like,
yeah. See, that's why I'm like angles. Just knowing that a person who is, tinier generally, use a higher angle for them. Or lower angle. So like your phone, it's like this. Your camera, it's higher, sort of. And they'll be like, you are my next photographer, just based on that trick.
Yeah, that's what they're like, because I'm tiny and then my boyfriend's really big, so they were like down. I was like, yes, so I don't look like super short.
Yeah, exactly.
It's when you ask someone to take a photo of you and you see them doing all these different angles and they're down on one knee and all of this, and you're like, yes, you're in my team, I love you. And then they give your phone back and it's just selfies of them, just like their face. that always gets me, and I've had that a few times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's and it's been complete strangers that have just done it, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Oh, you haven't realised.
No, they've done it on purpose.
Oh, that never happened to me, but yeah. Are they coming back to take more pictures for you though?
They should be. Yeah, no, they're gone. They're way gone.
Oh God, that's a prank. Yeah. Yeah, so practicing, that just start with practicing. Find your subject and practice as much as you can, and you'll understand how your camera creates a picture in a way that you like it better, and some of them you wouldn't like. It's just a preference at the end of the day. Even with the angles for a person, they might prefer to just be like on their eye level, for example. That's just my preference with a lower angle. But maybe just because, yeah, my boyfriend as well is very tall. So like you, Kelly, when I get all of these pictures and I look even tinier, I'm like, please. Yeah.
Amazing. So there's something in it for me around firstly slowing down, like this, just having that space and the time, and almost like that meditative practice around it. Like if you're out and about or looking at your day, like really just pause for a second, which is beautiful and every business owner needs. Then the subject was huge for me. Like I was like, oh, obviously, but you just don't. I see everything rather than just honing in on one thing. Then lighting, and then like symmetry and angles. If you can just think of those few things, I think it will switch up. It's definitely going to switch up my headspace when I use my phone now.
Yeah, can I just mention, so when you say you look at everything and you see the setting, it's all great. You actually, your eye saw something that's beautiful in that setting. Like what's making that whole room or whatever it is beautiful?
Yeah.
There should be a detail that makes it beautiful, for sure.
Yes, definitely.
So and actually, when you are just throughout your day working or just relaxing and stuff, you'll notice, like as you said, beautiful settings. You can still take a photo of those, even though you might not think it's aligning with your business or anything else at that point. But if you have it in your gallery and you just search for something that in the future, that photo might come up and you'll be like, oh, I'm glad I took it. I never miss a beautiful moment just because I'm obsessed with photos, probably. But still, like some of them came in handy at points that I was like, oh yeah, this one.
Yeah, if you're listening and you don't follow Cristina on Instagram, like, oh, I love seeing your photography. Like, captures my heart every time. It's absolutely beautiful. Like,
thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm kind of ghosting Instagram to be honest.
Oh no.
I'm more on LinkedIn because I thought that's where like the people that I could help more are. But yeah, once in a while, my Instagram, it's just to prove the power of visuals. And once in a while, I go back and post something that, has no strategy. It's not necessarily business related. I post stuff from family photo shoots as well on there, which I wouldn't normally go to post on LinkedIn. But on LinkedIn, it's more information. So like the copy, you'll see how I'm giving examples with the visuals as well. So it's easier for people to understand, I think, and they can just practice little things based on each post, so they don't get overwhelmed, I hope.
Yeah, it's really good. Like really brings it all together. I really like as well how you share, is it like a week from your phone or a month from your phone?
Yeah, a month, yeah.
Yeah, all the pictures that you've taken, and yeah, it really like, it's just so creative and makes you think that like how simple creativity can be if you get out of your own way with it as well and just follow a few simple steps.
Yeah, it's hard for me to create those posts, to be honest, like picking just 9 or some months, actually, to be honest, like during the winter months, I don't think I had 9 that I really, really liked. So I had to work around some that I didn't like that much, but they were important in a way that, I don't know, they made me feel something and remember a moment that I can celebrate after a month. Or I can just look back and like, oh yeah, that was a great lesson, or some of them just looking more at editing them so they match my visual style and they match the whole grid of 9 really. But yeah, that's a post that takes me more than I like to admit it takes to me.
Yeah, just the selection. Amazing. Any other thoughts or questions, Hayley, before we...
No, I just want to cancel all my calls this afternoon and go and play with my phone.
I've got a run to do this afternoon. I was like, I wonder, I'm just going to take my phone and go through the trails now, and it's going to last way longer than what I planned. Yeah.
Thank you, Cristina. It's been brilliant just to sit and listen to you. I mean, in all of your knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy you are inspired now. I feel like you just want to go into that creative mode, which it made my day for sure.
Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate you, Cristina. And if anyone's listening, watching, go and follow Cristina on LinkedIn. She provides so many amazing tips, and join her school community as well. There's so much content in there that will definitely help business owners, and if anything out of it, I really feel like just stepping back and doing something creative is just good for the nervous system and the mind as well. So if you do anything, please do that. That'd be amazing. Our next episode then is coming up soon as well. We've got Kim Ellis on, and we'll be talking about marketing from like the very first stages. If you're in a business and you haven't got any prior marketing experience, so that's going to be a really good one. Be lovely to meet Kim as well. She's very supportive of all of our episodes, so very grateful for her. And thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure. Thank you, Cristina.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.